Shut up and sit down.
Oh, hello and welcome to a North Wales side-by-side video. Now, what I'm going to talk about in the video today is Ford's recall on the 1 litre EcoBoost engine. I know the news broke a couple of days ago and people in the UK have got really excited about this. But you need to go and have a look at Ford's website, but not Ford in the UK, Ford America, because the recall is only on certain vehicles in the United States of America. This is not a worldwide recall. I've been doing some research, which is why I've left the video till now to make, because I wanted to get the recall number, who's handling the recall, and find out which vehicles were involved in the recall. So it says on Ford USA's website, only for US, Focus and EcoSport. I'm reading off my phone here. So Ford has issued a recall that applies to nearly 140,000 units of the Focus and EcoSport built between 2016 and 2022 model years. The vehicles included in the campaign were built with an engine oil pump drive tensioner arm that can break and damage the engine. Hang on a second, Ford. You've been having problems with this engine since it was introduced, with timing belts, wet timing belts, coming apart, blocking the oil pump drive, causing engines to suffer from low oil pressure and blow up. Nowhere in this recall do they mention the belt. All they say is oil pump drive belt tensioner arm. That's what they've admitted to. They've not admitted to the belt. Right, the recall number is 23 V for Victor 905, and it's been issued by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, also known as the NHTSA in America. The recall includes the following cars: 26,041 units of the Focus built between March 24th, 2015 and May the 4th, 2018. 113,689 units of the EcoSport built between April the 3rd, 2017, October the 12th, 2021. It then goes on to say that's a total of 139,730 vehicles on the American market. Ford notes they were all powered by the turbocharged 1 litre 3-cylinder EcoBoost engines and equipped with the 6-speed, this is the important bit, 6-speed automatic transmission. And it also has that the defect is found in 100% of the recalled vehicles. Now, the gearbox that it affects is their automatic transmission that they designate as 6 F for Freddy 1.5. Them are the only vehicles involved in this recall. Ford are showing their true colours here. You as customers who've bought Ford EcoBoost powered vehicles with the 1 litre, and that includes a lot of cars in Europe, as far as they're concerned, you don't count, you don't matter. Everybody knows EcoBoost engine is a ticking time bomb. Everybody knows the problems. And they've chosen the smallest number of cars they can possibly find, that number of Focuses, that number of EcoSports, and they've picked 1 gearbox. Not any other transmission, not the manuals, nothing. They're trying to get away by spending the least amount of money they possibly can on this recall. An EcoBoost engine is an EcoBoost engine, whether it's fitted to a manual gearbox or an automatic transmission. They're the same engine. The only difference is maybe a couple of sensors, maybe some programming in an ECU. Autos are fitted with a flex plate, a torque converter, automatic transmission. Manuals are fitted with a flywheel, a clutch, a manual transmission. The engines are the same engines. Doesn't matter, manual, automatic. So if these 140,000 EcoBoost powered vehicles have got the problem, so has every other EcoBoost engine, manual or automatic. This is just Ford at their absolute and utter best to try and spend as little money as possible on a recall. This should be a worldwide recall, and it should be across the entire range of EcoBoost 1 litre powered cars. Transmission shouldn't come into it, because it's not the transmission that's at fault, it's the engine. An engine is an engine, a transmission is a transmission. 2 totally different entities. They just happen to be bolted together. Ford, I am massively disappointed with you, but I'm not surprised the way you're handling this recall. Doesn't surprise me the way you're doing it. Please be a responsible company. Own up to the mistakes you've made with this engine all the way since you started producing it till now. I will admit they have been trying to alleviate the problem. They've tried different belt materials, they've redesigned the tensioners on the cam belt, they've tried lots and lots of fixes, none of them have ever worked. Then they did a redesign on the engine and they gave it a timing chain to drive the camshaft, but they still left the wet belt to drive the oil pump. So they never really fixed the problem. A wet belt is a wet belt, whether it drives a camshaft or an oil pump, and it's still going to suffer from the same problem of breaking down, dropping particulate matter into the oil, which is then going to be collected by the oil pump and block the strainer, whether it's a timing chain version of the engine or the wet belt cam driven version of the engine. They've all got wet belt on the oil pump, so they've never ever solved the problem. If they were going to solve the problem, and they should have done it by now, because when them engines are working, they drive absolutely amazing. They're an amazing engine when they're working. But they should have gone timing chain for the cam, timing chain or gears for the oil pump. Then they will not have had this problem. It was a massive mistake. And it's not only Ford that are having problems with wet belt engines. Every manufacturer that uses a wet belt engine is suffering the same problems. Belts that break up in the oil and then block the oil pump pickup and damage the engine beyond repair. I'm also don't like Ford's warranty system. All you get is 3 years, 60,000 miles. That tells me Ford have got no faith in their designs, their manufacturing techniques, and they don't trust any of their vehicles to do more than 60,000 miles without major problems. You look at other manufacturers. My experiences with Toyota, we get 100,000 miles or 10 years, whichever comes sooner. That's an industry leading warranty. A lot of people are never going to do 100,000 miles in 10 years, but they've got the peace of mind. They've got a car that's under warranty for 10 years, 100,000 miles. If you do more than 100,000 miles in 10 years, you've used your warranty up. But you've had a car that's not let you down, done 100,000 miles, and will probably go on to do another 100,000 miles and another 100,000 miles before you even start having major issues, if you have them at all. Admittedly, I've never run a Toyota engine over 160,000 miles, but that one engine I did run that far. I put on that engine one water pump. That was the only major thing I changed on that engine. One water pump, and that was done at about 120,000 miles. Half an hour it took me to change a water pump. Numerous drive belts because they need changing, spark plugs at the allotted intervals, and change the oil every 5,000 miles along with the oil filter. Air filters every 20. That engine, I had trust in that car from the day I bought it till the day I sold it. Never once did it let me down, and I'd get in it like I get in any of my Toyota cars, and I will drive them anywhere knowing that car is going to be impeccably reliable. But they're only impeccably reliable because they're serviced and they are looked after. The oil is checked before every drive. I open the bonnet, I top my screen wash up, I check the fluids, I check the oil. I know I don't need to do it every drive, but I do it. It's a habit I've got myself into, so I do it. My MR2 sits in the garage all week, might only go out once every 2 or 3 weeks. I know it doesn't leak any oil, I know it doesn't burn any. But before I start it up, I still pop the hood, pull the dipstick, check the oil level, check the coolant level, check the brake fluid, top it up with screen wash, go out and enjoy it. That's what you've got to do once a week, just for peace of mind. But now, I'm finishing the video there. I've had my say on the Ford EcoBoost recall. It's not a recall. It's not a recall on the problem that the cars have got, they've found another problem that they think they can get away with, so they've done a recall on that. So I'm afraid anybody in the United Kingdom who thinks they're going to get their EcoBoost fixed, I'm really sorry to disappoint you. It's not happening. Sorry. I'm sorry for you. It's not happening. Anyhow, I'm finishing the video here. If you like the content, please consider clicking like, and please consider subscribing to the channel for more motoring news and updates. Thank you very much for watching.